And welcome to Off Track Monday. Look how I found in the basement.
You never know where I'll turn up.
We never know. We never know. So this is I guess be the first Monday that Trackside Mike is MIA. That poor boy is working night shift for the next 3 to 4 weeks, almost 12, 13-hour days every day. He works, I think he's going to work 10 on, get a day off. He hopes. And this is going to take him up to the middle of, hopefully, the first week of October. He'll be done. Oil companies do a shutdown twice a year. And they're full tilt. Let's see who we got in the chat. So I believe Grandpa Rail's got the cookie. Then Mike H.O. Trains got the crumbs. Andy got something. Mark, he didn't get anything. Brian Ferguson, hello, sir. And who else we had in here? Grandpa Rails is here. Dwight Curley is here. Who else we have? Lynn McCurdy, welcome, sir. John, the Skill River Valley, welcome, sir. You see we have a guest, Jim Tedesco from down south. He made it up to Canada for a short period of time. So we've been practicing. Mr. Wigwag, welcome, sir. What else we got in here? Saw Brian Ferguson. Early. Hey, John Train, BFGR, welcome, sir. Bubs031, welcome, Bubs. Ray Bernelson, welcome, sir. I think we got everybody here, Jim.
You missed Delmarva.
Delmar, I missed somebody?
Yeah, Delmarva.
Okay, well, you caught him for me.
I did.
Yeah.
They're all caught up now.
Yeah, we're all caught for a minute or two. So I was working on the layout today, trying to finalize a few loose ends, hook up my turntable, and I got it hooked up, and I was having a short. And I discovered after researching it, because I have 2 tracks on my turntable, in theory, if the turntable went one direction, it was creating a reverse polarity, so it's causing a short. So I have to have an odd reverser in the house, so I installed that this afternoon, and the problem went away. I was messaging Thomas Grassi about it this afternoon too, if he had any thoughts before I start looking deeper into it. So it's working.
That's good to know, because I haven't wired mine up yet. I've got it up there, but
well, I didn't realize, because when you look at the concept of a turntable, the way I got right up here, it's like a Y. Because I have a loop with 2 tracks coming off the loop to a turntable, and one from each side of the layout. So they would normally go off the track, off the bridge, into a staging track, which is totally isolated. And but if you go around one direction, you're reversing that track. And I actually disconnected the turntable, reversed the 2 wires to the turntable for the feeders, and the problem went to the other track. But only if you go a certain direction. If you go clockwise, you would still be in polarity. So it's interesting, and I happen to have an auto reverser in the in my collection of stuff. I got that from Otter Valley Railroad last year at the pop-up. So I'm glad I had it. So it works good. I put the camera on. I can actually maneuver a train onto it.
Cool.
and I was quite pleased with that. I got a Go train running on the layout coaches. Hey, Ronald Rondu, welcome. And Floyd Robbins, welcome, sir. I haven't mailed out stickers from Trackside, Ronald. I haven't got you, but I will. Rest of Roger Coleman. Yeah, I did, Roger. I decided to go. We had a guest, you know. We got to get into the flow of things now. And but I've been working on the layout on and off today, trying to find things. I hooked up feeders to the staging track so I can actually maneuver trains off both directions. It's not permanently wired yet, but it's a start. I need to make a control panel so I can put switches so I can turn off. I have 3 isolated tracks for parking locomotives on. And right now they're all wired. But I'm happy with it. It's working. I got the 3 THB boxcars and the caboose that I got from Heath via Lynn McCurdy on the track. And they stay there now. They don't come off.
Good.
Hey, Mr. Randall Allison, welcome.
Hey, Randall.
And but I've been maneuvering trains around. It's really interesting. You can tell when you're running passenger coaches how the track, how good or bad it is, because they're very fussy at setting them up.
Yeah, they are. No, that's a good test because they really are fussy. I don't know if it's because of the length.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, they're pretty long, but also the way they built the Repeato did the commuter cars, you can't get at the truck assembly as easy as what a freight car. They're sort of hidden. So, Bubs, what do you have? This must be the veterans locomotive, I assume, right? They're the Arthur and Genesis locomotives. Cool. They're nice locomotives. Rocky's got some too. So yeah, so so far I'm running at notch 28 with no issues. As long as I can remember to make sure I have my switches in the right spot. Okay, Bubs. Have to check it out later. So if I remember the turnout switches, I won't have a derailment because these are very fussy coming around my curved turnout. So I'm still not 100% sure I want to keep that curved turnout, but right now it's staying there. It seems to work not too bad, but not made for high-speed trains to exit. So yeah. So what have you been working on, Jim?
Hey, actually, I'm busy printing again. I'm working on these pump jacks. For drilling for oil well for working on. They're going to be operational. I had to order different motors though because I ordered these little tiny gear reduction motors.
Yeah.
And 4 of them were dead on arrival. And the 5th one lasted about a minute before it died. So I'm trying to get my money back from these. You know, they're from China.
Yeah.
And I ordered the two of each from different companies. So hopefully they'll work.
I hope they cost you 5 cents a piece.
No, these were $3.78 each, free shipping.
Real artist, this is if you haven't met this guy here, he's a guy down from Florida. He came up to Canada for a short duration of time.
Hey, real artist.
If you don't know him now, you'll never will know him.
And all these guys know me.
He's part of the group.
So that's what I've been working on.
I know the Chris sent me a picture of the shell already. It looks pretty good. We're building custom locomotives for the GO train. And then we're taking an MP36 and converting it to the best we can into an MP40. So it's a work in progress. Oh, that's good, Ray. He's a nice guy. Check him out on Thursday at 6 o'clock. You have more interesting stories to tell you. You might have me have a rant.
That rail artist likes to yell at me for not talking about trains all the time.
No,
but sometimes I get off on a
done.
So yeah.
Chris sent me a picture of it all primed up yesterday. I think it was.
Cool.
My locomotive. We actually leave for Kingston area in about 3 weeks. So I finished for now, the backdrop is done. I'm not doing no more work to it until I get the lighting installed. And I'm trying to debate which one, because they're Amazon, made in China. Not much information.
Hey, Sparky.
Hey, Mr. Sparky 107. Yeah, you should know him by now.
Yes, I do. And it's almost paid off.
Yeah. Well, there you go, John.
I got to give him credit, though. I mean, he kind of talked me into buying this $800 chair.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's one of those secret lab chairs. Great chair, very comfortable, but man, that was a lot of money.
He showed me what DCC system to buy. I'm doing good, Wesley. Yeah, because of him, that's reason I bought my NCE system is because of Sparky.
Sorry to hear that, Wesley.
Yeah.
Condolences.
So yeah, yeah, that was we had a good weekend last weekend at the Smith Falls. Lots of train activity. I'm sure I'm getting blamed for stuff again. Where is he? Sparky, I would never blame you for anything. Hey, Paul, welcome. If you want to check out a channel, check out Paul's channel. He's doing a decent layout. He had an update video today, and it just popped into my platform, and I watched it, and I know there's a lot of people that I know subscribe to him, so I subscribe to him, and he's got a decent channel. Lots of ideas. We always look for ideas in our layout, I tell you. My throttle likes to time out. Crank it up. But yeah, thanks, John. Check out Paul's channel. Decent channel. He's working on an upgrade right now, adding extras to it. Welcome to, this is our, believe it or not, me and Mike have been doing this Off Track Monday. It'll be 2 years this month.
Wow.
We do it for 2 years. Usually we started after OBRs popped up. And that was near the end of September, which has been canceled this year. So hopefully Mike will be back from the working world to a normal world by Thanksgiving. Mike is working. He's working a 12, 13-hour shift right now until at least 7 in the morning. Imperial Oil, they do a major shutdown every 6 months. They're doing major shutdown. Major. All hands on deck. Mike was telling me Nanticoke, where Imperial Oil is located, there's not a hotel or a place to stay. They're all booked up solid. This is big, lots of work for a short period of time. But it's around the clock type work, nonstop. I don't miss those days.
I don't either, actually.
Well, I work for service then. We used to service Stelco steel mill. They broke down and they were crying.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, did a lot of steel. Now it
was nothing to work 70 hours a week back in the day, but not anymore of that.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Sparky's going to the Kitchener train show. I think it's October the 6th. It's a Sunday. If you're in Canada, you want to check out, Sparky's going to be selling some of his extra locomotives and rolling stock. I believe it's at the Bingman Park in Kitchener. So Sunday, it's October the 6th. Check it out if you're in the neighborhood. I'll be in Kingston area on that weekend. We're leaving on the 5th of October for 10 days. But yeah. So I've been working around. So I'm going to, and my toy. I bought a new toy for rail fanning. I don't know how it's going to work out yet. So far, the concept works good. Hey, Mr. Robin Gagnon, welcome.
Robin.
And our guest, Robin, is Jim Tedesco.
So you going to show us that new toy, James?
Well, Sparky, you must mean the closest space is Lauren's house. They used to allow us to put up a shack at Stelco so we can keep our tools in place. But yeah. So I'm going to go get the other camera. I'm going to show you this toy I got. It's made in China.
Everything's made in China.
Oh, yeah. It's made in China. So I'm going to turn the camera around because I'm going to use this camera in here for, because I set it up on the other side of the layout. No, it's not a vibrator. It's, Sparky, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sparky, I should have figured.
Now, if you can see it, you don't get dizzy here. So it's on the tripod. Let's see. So on
like
top of
the flash unit.
You can see my GoPro. May not get too good of a view there. I might have to bring it closer. It's
rotates.
It's a power panoramic head for a tripod.
Cool.
So if I put this on next to the tracks, I can rotate the camera in two different directions. But it also, I can adjust the angle. Now it's gone down. I might have to go get it. Bring it. It's a little too far for the camera to see. I know. I'll move the camera.
Pretty cool though.
That look better now?
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, I saw this on Amazon, and it's been quite a few. I saw a few videos of it. It has a 3.2 lithium battery in the base, and it's got a couple of batteries. It's remote control. You can't see it in my hand. it'll tilt down 35 degrees, tilt back 35 degrees, so I can adjust the angle of view. The only problem with a GoPro is you don't have a lot of zoom, so I'm going to have to do some measurements from the track and see what to get the best view. Just watch it, Jane Hand. We can watch it. Yeah. But I got it cost me $100 Canadian. And that's what I got. I'm going to test it a week Tuesday. I'm going to take it out to Paris Junction in Paris. And I'm going to set it up I figure about 10 feet from the track, and I'll experiment with the zoom on the GoPro. Because I can control the GoPro with my phone. So once I get the camera set up, I can walk away from the track. Hey, Mr. Thomas Grassi, welcome.
Hey, Tom.
Funny, the camera just rotated in James's hand just so we can see a GoPro rotate. Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that before.
No, neither have I. I was looking. I know a lot of professionals have these ideas for making. I've been thinking an idea to put a camera on a remote control vehicle to get close to the tracks. And I saw this on Amazon. Well, that may work out pretty good. So I picked it up. I haven't tried it out in the real world yet. It's only been in the train room.
I think you'll be real happy with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's my $100 investment.
Seems like money well spent.
Yeah. So I figured for watching trains. Eventually, I think it's too light for my big camera that I have. I have another camera too, but the problem is it takes a compact flash memory card, and my memory reader for that card is packed away somewhere. Because I have a big full frame pro camera, but I haven't used much of it because I didn't want to I got tired of doing stills. I didn't need a high-end camera for doing video. So, but I'm going to test it out next week, Tuesday. My wife is going with her school colleague for lunch at a restaurant in Paris. So while they're going to go to a fancy place, I'm going to go to Harvey's and watch trains.
There you go.
Lawn chair and trains and a burger. That's all I need. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on.
Yeah, can't wait to see that in action.
Yes, well, I'm going to do some video. Too bad I can't link the GoPro to StreamYard with me on it too. I turned the camera on, but I haven't figured that part out.
I'm sure there's a way, because like I said, when you're not rail fanning, you could use that in your train room. Yes, well, I'm gonna. I got this in Sparky. If anyone's wondering, this was Sparky's GoPro. I bought it off Sparky, but I need to modify the mount for it to clear my bridge. So Sparky gave me the card for it. It's right up here in my ledge with my displays, and but I need a metric bolt because I got a bracket to mount it, but the bolt is too long to hit the bridge, so I need to make a new mounting for it. This, Thomas, apparently this GoPro will stream to YouTube. Sparky's do it all the time. I haven't done it yet, though. But I can't stream on StreamYard with guests. I haven't figured that part out. Because I know I have Logic Capture on my laptop, and it does not like StreamYard. Oh, look at this. The inflation of life. Another $50.
I'm gonna come if you're home on Saturday. I'm gonna come visit you. I gotta drop off something for you. If you're home, I'll text you later. Cause I gotta go to Cambridge on Saturday morning. Yeah, you gave me the car. Thanks, Sparky. I'll message you Friday, just double check. But we gotta go. A friend of my wife's who still lives not far from you. In fact, her mother passed away yesterday, so we're gonna go visit her. My wife grew up in Cambridge, not too far from Sparky. Believe it or not. In fact, when my mom-in-law was quite sick, I used to go visit Sparky. It was close. So now, let me see. I'm going to turn. I'm going to get the camera. I'm going to move around. I'm going to show you this this turntable. And do this. Now that I have the big TV, I can see the monitor better. Turn on the control. So this is an Intermountain EG&E Tier 4. Tighten the camera up. Now, I don't have any track on the other side, so I have to be careful I don't lose it on the track. Now, with this thing here, we go tail. This is where I discovered the polarity reversing when I went to the other track. The only thing I found, if your turntable is dirty, the clock wheel needs to be cleaned up so that when it tracks to the final stop, it might be out a tooth, and you got to backtrack it a bit. That's why you file the track with a bit of a bevel.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps guide the wheels off it. Now I can take this train right up to the end of the track and bring it back over to here too. Okay, it's all working now. And we go this way. I sent an email to Walters. I want to curious if I can add a second control station so I can have one on each side of the layout. You should be able to go off. Just remember, there's no track out here.
Nice.
Okay. If I can do this, if you see that. So I'm going to bring it around to the other mainline track, and I'll bring it to the other side. So you may not see where I is on that view. I don't have two cameras. But let me get over there. I throw the switch.
Yeah, Sparky, you're a clown, man.
These are, we'd be lost without Sparky. So now I got that, I'll go over here. I can play with the camera a bit more. So now it's on the main line. So I can back it onto the bridge. Then I can throw the switch, reverse the locomotive. Now it's going to come up to the bridge. Going to center itself. So in theory, if I reverse this, I want it to head. I should be reversing it, and the polarity is going to change. But the auto reverser is going to fix that problem for me. And slightly off clock there. But you can tweak it a bit just by touching the controller. And we're still in a forward direction. There we go. So I can take it back. You can see a bit of that there, I think.
I'm watching, Dwight. Kind of interesting.
So now we're back on the main line.
Howdy, Mike G.
What's that?
Mike G just got in the chat.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mike. So now we're going. So in theory, I could take this all the way around into the yard if I wanted to. But I got another locomotive on this track already, so I won't. So we'll hit the switch, reverse it. And we're back into the track to the turntable. That's why I'm wondering about having an extra controller, because I can control the bridge from 2 different locations. Now, this stop is programming, so it should stop on this position. Tweak it a bit. And away we go. And by hitting tail, reverse it. Now, I put this turntable in last year, and I never had any kind of problem with it until today. It's just a matter of troubleshooting. I had to get my electrical book out and remember how I did things. And here we go. Now we're off. The bench will have track at the end of the layout here to park trains on. So I have enough space, hopefully probably park about 6 locomotives there all the time.
So the only reason you needed to put a auto reverser in was because you're basically running a loop with that sort of, right?
That's right. That's right. So if you see where the track is, just if you call, let me turn the camera on more there. If you see, let me point down here at the turntable more. This camera, the mount is broken a bit. It wobbles a bit. So they'll call this track A, track B. So when you reverse it, because track A is still here and going one direction this way, it actually turns, this track becomes a negative instead of a positive, I guess, in term.
Yeah, it would.
But if you go the other way, it wouldn't change that.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. And I was pulling my, what did I do? I actually went under the layout, unhooked the 2 feeder wires from the turntable and reversed them. So the problem went from this track to this track.
Right.
And I actually went and checked the track with my meter, because I don't have any feeders on this side of the track. It's all powered by the connection at the track over there and the feeders on that part of the layout. And I double checked the track. They're all in sync. There was no shorts anywhere, except when that thing reversed.
Okay.
It's just a matter of, you had to draw it out, but you turn the track around, you reverse one direction. This here track is reversing.
Yeah, see, I won't have that problem because I've only got one main coming into it, and the rest are for parking. So, because I was thinking, oh, wait a minute, am I gonna have to do the same thing?
Yeah. Well, if I didn't have 2 tracks, I don't think it would matter as much.
No, it wouldn't. Like I said,
if you look at the manual, believe it or not, it looks like a Y.
Yeah, it would.
Because you have, my main line is the main line, and the 2 tracks come to the turntable. It's a Y. Believe it or not. Hey Tim, welcome. Oh yeah, we love the government, don't we, Jim?
I'm not going to go there.
Probably a smart move anyhow.
Probably.
But yeah, so that's what I discovered. It just mattered reversing. Because I literally put my meter on, because the AC voltage, I couldn't check for an M a positive and negative because it's an AC voltage on DCC. It was DC, different story. So, yeah, so I'm glad I fixed the problem. I can show you the reversing device. It's DCC Specialties. Lauren at OVR, last year we were thinking this for my staging track.
Hey, GRE, how you doing?
He's not in the hot seat. He's a guest.
Could be.
We bought this for my staging track because back then we determined that we had a reversing Y, and now I'm going to eliminate that situation totally. I'm taking the staging track out 100%, and I'm just going to put a loop at that end. I'm just trying to figure the best way to make a loop because it's going to have a bit of an S curve at the end there because I'm trying to go around a 30-inch radius. I got to go out and around. Just more of a track to maneuver cars off the main line.
I'm not sick, Sparky. I'm saving that for my show.
Yeah, he's got to save the good for the good show.
Well, no, I don't mean it that way. I'm just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to save it.
On James' show, we talk about trains, and on my show, we talk about trains and other things.
Everything else. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on the layout. Can't see it here, but
side tracks.
If you see up there behind the light, let me turn the light down. That is my River Aussie Hudson. That's the THB 501.
Very nice.
I had that running on my floor track. I had the track on the floor. Thomas, no, it's this is Monday. You didn't fall off the tracks. You didn't get lost. This is Monday.
Yeah. I'm taking a beating here tonight, James.
I don't know why. No, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, I guess
it's the new TSM.
They're taking advantage of me being here, I guess.
Oh. Hey, DWM Trains. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Floyd, how's it going? Floyd Robbins?
Yeah. That's what so I've been quite happy with everything so far. So I've been working. So my elevated section, my friend, he's working on 3D printing the remaining piece for the bridge scene, and he's going to start working on the retaining wall for the elevated section, and hopefully we'll have that done in my hands by November. I'm going to go to the Ancaster Train Show. And that's, I think, November the 10th. So my wife's going to come. So we're going to go to church on the Saturday night instead. So we can go. It's the only train show I'll go to. Because normally they're too far away from me. And I got to take the morning off. So I saw Sidetracks in here too.
Yeah, he popped in earlier.
Sidetrack 77, welcome, sir. And yeah. So hopefully our good buddy Mike, he isn't going to break till 10 o'clock, so he can't even get in the chat. I think Tim posted a video today too. A video too. Check him out. So another thing, Mr. Jim, I know your subscriber list is a little low.
Yeah, I've been hovering, I think, at 468, somewhere around there.
So if you haven't subscribed to Jim, please check out his channel. He goes live
please.
Thursday. Every Thursday at 6 o'clock. Check him out. If you want a good conversation, go there. Thursday.
We get into more strange conversations there.
Hey,
last week we were reminiscing about everything.
There's our good buddy Mark, M&M Rails.
Hey, Mark.
Welcome, buddy. Yeah, the White Lily.
Sparky.
Yes, Tim, you did post it. I saw it. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see it posted today. You missed the operations, Mark. I was running the train on the turntable. There, you just got another one, Jim. Just went subscribed. Got you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, my friend.
Thanks, John. Give this guy some love and support. We have a big community. I'm amazed. Like Paul's channel, I was looking at that today, and it just popped up in my stream. He had over 2,000. I look all the people in the comments. Well, I know him. I know him. I know him, and I know him. I know him. Tip my camera down. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, he was up a little high there.
Yeah, I know. I had that for I was standing. Well, that's good. Oh, Mark, for you, I'll show you again. I'll show you. Let me move the camera around the other side of the layout. We don't mind doing repeats for others. Let me turn this camera around.
Hey, Rick, how's it going?
Let me make it bigger. I mean, see it better. There. Hey, Mark, can you see it now? It is a powered panoramic camera head.
That is pretty cool, isn't it, Mark?
Hey, Mr. Rick, welcome. So I can rotate my GoPro 360 degrees. And I can tilt it 35 degrees. So it goes down 35. I find it dark over there. Let me move my portable light. You can see it better. Seems like it's hard to see.
No, I can see it pretty good.
Try this. So it'll rotate. No, Mark, there's no coffee with it. You just get trains.
Yeah, well, no arm
here holding the cell phone. Right there. There's the arm.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't see that before.
It's on the back. So I can set it up with that cell phone. It's my wife's old cell. Work it all and leave it, and it times out, and I can capture it again with my regular cell. And once it's set up, your shot, you just got to hit the record button. But if you want to change, you got to change the zoom on the GoPro before you hit record. So that's it. So in theory, I could set the GoPro and do a 360 shot of the layout. I might do that for a shorty. But that's my toy.
Yeah, that would work too, Dave.
What's that?
Dave said DMW train. Dave said, I think I saw that camera on the movie Congo with a machine gun attachment. I imagine you could mount a weapon on that. I got to get me one of those. That's really cool. I put that right in the middle of my train room.
So it probably be about $75 American. After I bought it, there's probably about five or six different versions of the same thing, and there's other manufacturers making them too. They are up and down in price. I saw one that automatically pans. I'm not sure how that one works, but I saw several videos of this type, this version. It's got 9 speeds, and this is the fastest speed I'm on now. So it's the fastest speed is to me the slowest. That's the only downfall. I wish it went a little bit faster. I'm not sure how, if I wanted to pan the train, if I'm facing at the train's approaching you, and I want to pan to catch the tail end of the train, I'm not sure what the time frame. We'll have to experiment next week. Because this will be a learning curve anyhow. Now I mounted to my good carbon fiber tripod, so my tripod's very stable. This is my my other Manfrotto ball head, because I was considered a professional photographer, so I have professional gear, which I don't use. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun. So now I can adjust to get the elevation, because you can't get. I don't want to get too close to the tracks. I want to try and keep at least at 10 feet away, but I'm not sure how the zoom limitation on the GoPro. Let's see what we get. But the zoom in on the GoPro, you got to do the zoom before you hit record button. But that's the toy, Mark. Yeah, you need it faster to stock them up. In 70 days, you'll be riding. I'll be riding out in the Canadian. Oh, cool. Yeah, Marcus. It's my big expense. I did buy a memory card too, an extra one.
All right, good night, John. Thanks for popping in, man.
Yes, sir. So John's going to ride the Canadian. That's a cool trip. I rode the Rocky Mountaineer to the Rockies. In fact, we stayed at the hotel that burned down during the last forest fire.
Wow.
Good night, John. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it. So I've been cleaning up, trying to find things. I still haven't found my little jig for doing cuppers on blue box cars. I put that somewhere. I haven't found that.
Yeah, I gotta give you that, James. That is the cleanest train room I have ever seen.
Well, I try to put I always found, just because of my work environment, accidents happen when you have a cluttered work area.
That's probably true. But you know, most of us, we have like
no problem, Sparky. I appreciate it. I'll contact you before. See about Saturday.
Good night, Sparky. Thanks for showing up, man.
But yeah, I just found, just because of work, I worked in the industrial sector, and safety was always an issue. Clean a contaminated workspace, you can get hurt, you can damage what you're working on. So just
that's all true.
Yeah.
I just started cleaning my place up because I was doing all this new construction stuff. It was totally trashed for about a month there.
Yeah, let me make this back to normal now. But believe it or not, I started to build this new layout over 2 years ago. We sold the house in April of 2022. We moved in here in June of 2022, and I started that summer to work on it. So this is 2.5 years of work. But I did the room too. I did all the wall. See, I cover my walls in plywood, not drywall. I didn't use any drywall whatsoever, and I wasn't worried about joinery. This is a train room. I did butt joints, and I just painted everything. I didn't fill any screws. I didn't do any of that. When I did the background, I started using number 6 wood screws, but I started using my little pin nailer because it's not on 2-sided tape. And it's fine. It's done. My ledge, believe it or not, I went to Home Depot to buy material for that. And Home Depot, if you buy a 1x12 by 8 foot piece of knotty pine, I think it's about $30. But if you go buy a piece of 1x12 by 8 foot and they call it a shelf, it's $15. They had no stock. No, I didn't, Mark. I did not glue it. I use a product called Flex 90. It is a drywall type of compound, but it's in a bag, and I mix it as I need it. It does not crack as much as regular dry. I didn't do any tapes. I just filled it, sanded it, done. Nothing fancy. But I used 2-sided tape and all the material on the back wall of the alcove. It's woodworker's tape. Yeah, it's good stuff. I get it. I get it from Amazon. This stuff here is 2-sided woodworking tape.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, there's a YouTuber out there. I'm going to try it on some track, but he used 2-sided tape to hold his cork down. No glue. Yeah. So I'm going to try that on my modification on the other side. just use that to hold the cork down. No glue. But that's all I did. I just the Flex 90 is a drywall compound, and you can buy it in a 1 pound bag. I think it costs about $6. You don't have to, if you got a nick in your wall and you got to patch it, well, drywall compound goes bad. I just take a scoop of it, mix up a little tray, patch a hole, done. I stuck at the painted wood and had no problem with it. So I don't know. I stuck it to that, to my back wall. That's all painted. But I did pin it too, though. I'll let you know how it works on the cork, because my section of my layout has been painted now. But no, I'm happy with it. I use it when I'm doing the table saw. Hey, Moonsville, I needed when you're ripping long pieces of wood, you need to have an extended long fence. So I just took a 1x3 and taped it to the fence. You should have recorded your steps. You would have got 1 million views. And I use this on the fence and the table saw in the garage. Yeah, Moonsville, he's in Australia. It's morning for him. And I got to modify. I have a little pocket here for my docking station, but I rerouted the wires for the camera and the microphone down behind the layout, so it's out of my way. And this camera is going to stay here. This one I'm working right here. It's going to stay here. But the wires go down. I purposely put a hole in the back of the corners before I put the backdrop in. But yeah, so that's where I is on my layout and my toy. Hopefully next week I'll have a video from it.
Hey, you were talking about putting some lights up. What are you going to do? LED strip lights?
Yes. I'm debating. I saw the Amazon had one brand. I wanted remote control because I don't want to wire it into a switch and that kind of stuff. I want to be able to plug them in, run the wiring up around, and tuck the rest of the wire under the layer somewhere, and just want to be able to turn them on and off and dimmable. And I decided on cool white. So they make a 32-footer and a 20-footer. The 20-footer is 12 volts according to the instructions. The 32-footer is 24 volts. Mm. But the same brand name from Amazon. So if you read the fine print, it says China.
Of course. Well, that's where I got mine from too. I got mine off Amazon. They had a sale on it. There were 2 50-foot reels, and they're 24 volters, RGB. Yeah. And the only bad thing is because the way I had to do it, you had to run off the controller each way, like in a T.
Right.
So I had to put the controller all the way in the back wall. Now I've got a remote for it, but I've got to kind of finagle the remote for it because it's line of sight, Yeah, but other than that, it works great. I mean,
well, the one I saw, I can cut it. So the plan is this section of wall is 9 feet and 6. So I'm going to take it all the way around as far as that corner there. So I'll cut it. It may be a little, I may have leftovers. And I use the 20-footer on that wall, or I might put the 32-foot over there, because this is shorter. Or I may just buy 2 32-footers. They're all the same prayer, all the same price. Mm-hmm. And run that around. Now, the one concern is the tape on these LED don't stick very well. They say they are, but they don't. So they have a clip that I can buy. There's 200 of these clips that little tiny screw, and you can screw them up to my light balance.
That's pretty slick.
So
yeah, mine's stuck pretty good so far. But what I did is I used 1" by 1/8" PVC strips.
Okay.
Trim strips.
Yeah.
Glued and stapled them to the underside of the second level, and then made sure they were clean, and then use a sticky on the LED lights. And so far, they're holding up. So,
that's good.
We'll see.
Yeah, I saw these little clips that they're little tiny little screw, and I'm gonna mount the strip as close to the outer edge of the wood as I can. And I made the strip is 2 1/4 inches wide, and I lost a quarter because of the backboard, because it's resting on the backboard. And I mounted it. I bought these 2-inch or 1.5 inch metal brackets from Amazon, and I used them. I reversed them. Yeah, turn this camera around. You won't see that, but they came with a bunch of 1.5 inch and a bunch of 1 inch, and I used the bigger ones with a number 6 screw, and all my walls are plywood. I don't have to worry about a stud. I have they call it a BIPS bit. It's a self-centering drill for doing countersunk hardware. I punch a starting hole in the plywood, zip it with my impact driver. Done right away. And they came with Phillips screws. Well, they went by in the garbage. I prefer. We grew up with Robinson screws, so I prefer to use them.
I don't blame you. Hey, Willow Creek, how you doing?
You know the story behind Robinson screws, eh? Do you know that? Back in, I guess, the early 20s and 30s, Henry Ford approached Robinson screws to allow Henry Ford to use his screws in his cars.
Really? I didn't know that.
But Mr. Robinson didn't trust Henry Ford. So Henry Ford said, okay, I'll fix you. And he went and created the Phillips screw.
Oh, that's a bit of trivia I didn't know.
Mr. Henry Ford was a smart man.
Yeah, he was, from what I hear.
You ever see a product called Kingsford Charcoal?
Yeah.
That was produced by Henry Ford.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Ford was very smart. They are Canadian. That's right. They're Canadian. And when we used to buy screwdrivers, it's hard anymore. The red, green. You would ask, go give me a green screwdriver. That's all you need to know. That's a number 6 screw. Use a green. A number 8 needed a red.
I didn't know that either.
There's a yellow and a black. Red number 2. That's right. Red's all you need to know. I need a red or a green. And any tool pouch that you work in, it's in your pocket, green or red. Even Craftsman, and they made the screwdrivers. I still got them. They were red and green. You look for yard sales, and you look for Robinson screws, right? Craftsman's. Buy every one you can get them. They're either made in Canada or made in the US of A. They're not made in China. That's right. Well, that actually is a number 1 or 0, I call it. Yes. You see a Craftsman screwdriver in a yard sale, pick them up. They're not made in China. Either American or Canadian made. Nope.
Yeah, I didn't know that Craftsman used the color code.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
That's right. That's how we knew about the screw is this colors. It needed number 2. I need number 2. I need a red. Give me a reddy or give me a greenie. Red and green were the most common color we used. I used the yellow on my switch machines on the layout, believe it or not.
Makes sense.
That's right. That's right, John. You bet your life. Henry Ford wasn't happy with Mr. Robertson. Oh no, because Henry Ford wanted power. No, didn't go. Yeah, I used the green, the yellow screw, the small number ones for my switch machines on the layout. Because in a tight spot, they hold to the, and I have a power bit for them too. It's black, Robin. It's a blackie. That's right.
They didn't teach us any of that stuff in school.
Yeah.
I'm a big history buff. I'm surprised I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's quite. It comes to, the Industrial Revolution.
True.
But Henry Ford, he created the assembly line.
Yes, he did. Like you said, he was a smart guy.
Very smart.
He's probably spinning in his grave though now. Now Fords ain't what they used to be.
Well, look at the things that got created from Henry Ford when World War II started.
It's true.
Very smart. But our wood screws are not made in Canada no more. They're made in China. In fact, all of our hardware is not made here anymore. I used to service companies in Ontario that are fastening, who made fasteners. Stelco made nails in Canada. Not anymore.
Yeah, everything's made in China nowadays.
Oh yeah, everything. Amazon's up our street delivering more than the mail delivery service.
We're going to be in big trouble if China ever gets mad at us and decides not to sell us anything.
I don't know. I think they'll keep them in check.
Oh, I'm sure they would, but
if they're smart.
Well, yeah, I think. Well, I don't know about Canada, but America's one of the biggest importers of their stuff.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
If we stop buying from them or they stop selling us, they'd probably go belly up.
Well, we used to have power tools that were made in Canada and U.S.
Yeah, I remember way back when. That's when they made really good tools too.
Well, I didn't know that.
Always.
Oh, that's cool, Ronald.
I don't remember that movie, Tom. I probably did see it though.
China's oil company. Oh yeah. So the trade-off, we give them the U.S. gives China the oil, and China gives you the goods. I had a beaver table saw. I also had a unisaw, which was made in Canada. But see, the unisaw was made in Canada and the U.S. Quality saw, but they're not making them because I always thought the saw stop when they produced that table saw. I always thought it was assembled in the U.S. But I found out later because we had to fix one time, and they were all made in China. And the first thing I saw, a Chinese motor, there is they didn't use varnish in the windings, so the vibration would short them out. That's very bad. Biggest issue with electric motors is when the induced voltage to start them up, there's an inrush of current, and it causes the winding to move. So that vibration, rub wire to wire, you get a short and it blows up.
Yep.
It's a massive inrush on a motor. The bigger the motor, the bigger the inrush. But we used to fix 500 horsepower motors, and we would put it in the wire, what they call a bull ring. It's a 3/8 fiberglass cord. And we would tie into the winding on the outer, and when it gets varnished, when the power surges in that winding, it's got a big fiberglass ring to stop it from moving, to prevent that vibration. But at least most of our copper wire is still made in North America, I think.
That's surprising.
But there's still import wire though too. But there's a shortage of it. When I was buying wire for the layout, I wanted a number 20 AWG, but I wanted the American version of it. The American ITE, I think it's called. I couldn't get it. No stock.
And that's not surprising. That and the fact it's expensive as heck too.
Oh yeah. I had enough to get my layout done, but it was ITE. You can tell the wire, because the American version of the wire, the jacket, is a lot thinner than the Chinese wire.
That's true.
The Chinese wire put a bigger jacket on because they can't meet the code. That I don't know, Todd. But you can tell between American, Canadian materials versus Chinese materials. Night and day. And of course, Americans don't use metric hardware in their stuff either. They still use the Imperial most of the time. But you remember in cars, Ford used to have a bolt on their cars that was only for their cars. It was 19-30 seconds ahead. Craftsman made a special socket for Ford cars.
I didn't know that either.
That
doesn't surprise me though.
But Ford had an oddball bolt on the engine somewhere, and you needed that special socket from Craftsman. And that was quite, Ford Craftsman always had a socket on the shelf. 19-30 seconds for a Ford car. It's like the old Chryslers, you always carried a spare resistor in your glove box.
And the 440 Chrysler motor, they always had an extra head bolt in the oil pan too for some reason.
Yeah, see, certain cars have certain great things. I remember me and my cousin, he had I think it was a Montcalm. It was a Ford car. We took the engine out in the driveway and changed and replaced the crank bearing on it in the driveway.
There you go. Well, I've done enough of that over the years too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember my uncle scrapping a '54 Ford. Two of them. They put the one car inside the other. Okay, Floyd. Thanks for dropping in. We'll catch you on the next stream somewhere. But yeah,
when I was young, I couldn't afford a mechanic, so I worked on all my own car. We did everything, and mostly in the driveway.
Yeah, I did that. There you go. Always carry a resistor in my glove box. That's right. It was common.
Chryslers, you had to, yeah.
It was a common thing on
common problem with
a Dodge. I don't know about Chrysler, but I know
Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, all three the same.
Yeah. Had to have that resistor. Yeah, it was quite common. The car wouldn't start without the resistor gone. I remember I had a 1968 or 68, no, 78 Honda Accord. It was a pipsqueak car. And I took the engine out of that car and I bought another Honda Accord with a standard. And I switched the standard engine into the automatic.
Oh, okay.
And I discovered that the timing on the standard was different than the timing on the automatic. And I didn't have the time
too.
I just looked. I was, it's not. I'm like looking at the marks on the flywheel on the front of the engine. I figured out the car had a lot of pep because the standard had more power than the automatic.
Absolutely not. I did the same thing with a BMW. I took the automatic out of it because the reverse went out in it, and put a 5-speed in there. I bought another car that was underwater, identical.
In our
but
town,
I didn't change the differential, and that's where I made my mistake.
Okay.
I mean, it was geared differently, and it was fast, but it wasn't quick. It took a little longer to get up to speed, but the car would do almost 145.
Yeah. Well, I used to have a 75 Fury 2. I bought it as a winter beater. Heck, I got rid of that car back then because of the gas went through the roof. That's 1980. But I used to be able to drive from Hamilton to London in 90 minutes.
There you go.
Okay, Dave, DW Trains, thank you very much for popping in.
Good night, Dave.
They were not allowed technically to work on cars in the driveway no more. It's against the city bylaws.
Well, we're not allowed to here in the States either, but unless somebody turns you in, generally nobody will bother.
Yeah.
Well, but if your neighbor got an attitude, and
yeah,
because I had code enforcement in my house many times.
You get a few.
What are you doing? I'm working on my car. Yeah, I think the only thing you're allowed to do is change the oil, change the tire, and I believe you're allowed to change the spark plugs, and that was it. Anything else was considered major repair. I mean, I always swapped engines out and transmissions, whatever needed to be done,
Put the wooden TP up to hold the engine up.
Absolutely.
Block and tackle. They used to have rope.
Well, one place we had a big tree that you can actually, it would hold up the motor. Got a big branch on it, but most time I just rented an engine hoist. So they were cheap enough to rent for a couple of days and no big deal. Yeah, the good old days.
But back when we were in high school, like Tim, it's common here. They don't like the street contaminated cars. You're not supposed to. Had to be in a garage.
Yeah,
the rules.
That's pretty much the way it is in most places. I'm sure there's some. If you live out in the country, they don't care. But if you live in a populated area, you're going to have problems.
If in high school we had auto in high school.
Yeah, we did too, but
1969. But back then in '69, you didn't have no electronics on your car. You had 6 wires. That's
pretty much, yeah.
Starting circuit done. Didn't need anything else. You had 6 wires going to the distributor, a starting circuit, and a key. Done. See you later. Drum brakes. No disc.
Probably should have kept it that way.
Yeah, well, what they don't know, they haven't got time no more to enforce stuff in. They haven't got the manpower. So
that's true.
They haven't got. They have to worry about the other stuff now.
As long as you don't have a neighbor that gets an attitude, you probably won't have any problems.
Okay, Moonsville, thank you for popping in, and you enjoy your work day.
Good night, Monsville.
And yeah. Yeah, we're trying. I gotta run some errands tomorrow. My wife's got choir starts up tomorrow night, so she's busy doing that. I'm gonna work on that section, the layup behind me where I want to change the track. I want to take the cork up. So I'm going to remove that. I'm going to try soaking the cork with water to see if it loosen the glue. I'm going to eliminate the staging track I was planning, original plans. I just figured too complicated to run trains with another bridge, and I couldn't get to it properly. So I decided I'm going to eliminate it. It's either I'm going to put a loop or I'm going to put a dead end track, go through the bridge and park a train there.
There you go. Well, at least use the white glue. Now you can pull stuff up. I started doing that too because my first layout back in the old house, I used that PL 300 glue.
Oh, yeah.
When I had to tear up, I just destroyed everything. I probably lost $500 worth of track.
Oh,
never do that again.
Track. I sold all my old track to somebody out west.
Did you?
And I changed the Walters track.
Okay.
I like the Walters track. Way it maneuvers. I was quite pleased with it. So I bought it. It's expensive, but I'm pretty well. I got a box and a half track left, and I'm pretty well. I have a track to go around this area here right in front of me, and I have a track. I'm going to build an industrial area on behind me a bit. I have a tire plant that I got a kit for. Because my steel mill ain't going to work anywhere. So it's up on top of the shelf as a display piece. I got to take it down and dust it off. And I might try and, too bad I couldn't try and wire, because I put lights and everything into that thing. But I just didn't have the room for it on this layout. I just couldn't figure it out. So it's idle. I have another cook oven kit that I bought for parts because I had to cut the other one up, try and make it fit. So I bought another kit. Well, then Walter decided to get rid of it. I actually had two electric furnace kits too, and I didn't use this because I was going to build what they call a BOF, basic oxygen furnace out of them. But again, that's big, like the rolling mill for the steel mill series. That thing is 3 feet long. The building. It's just no way I can have it to do it right. I would need a layout twice the size of this to justify the steel mill.
Wow.
Yeah. So I decided basically run the layout. We'll put building. I'm going to do a town scene at the back end of the alcove, and just work on the scenery part of it all. I have a few kits that get rid of because I don't need. I bought a crane kit that I don't need because I don't have the mill. So I'll post that and get rid of that and sell it. Put it cheap, get rid of it.
The same old story. No matter how big your layout is, it's never big enough.
Well, yeah, you learn to live with what space you have, and I'm happy with the space. It's workable. I see changes, and I can improve here, and I can make a change here. I thought of altering the curve turnout. I put the curve turnouts because of the corners. I had tight space. That's why I chopped the corner out of that, because of the space. But it seemed to be working okay. So I'm not worried about changing it. I don't have a lot of straight track in one area. In fact, if you turn this camera, you won't see this one here. I'll get you a camera. I'll show you this area here. Sparky gave me this extension cord for this camera. So it's very handy. I can maneuver. I can take it anywhere I want in the layout. So I'm going to change the camera and see if you can see this. So there's my blocks. So I want to put a crossover here to get from this track to this track. It says the only way I can get from the main line, from the outer main line into the inner main line. I have crossovers on the other side of the layout, but sometimes I want to reverse it over here. So I'm going to put a crossover. And I only have room for number 6. So I'm going to be doing that. I have a crossover that I had, but I'm going to chop it apart because it's too narrow of a track center. I bet. Yeah, I used to have number 6s on the other side, but I decided to put number 8s in on that side of the layout. Because that long track is 20 feet. It's a good straightaway.
Yeah, it is.
But so I have room for number 8s because number 8s need almost 28 inches of length to put the 2 tracks together. And I wanted 2.5-inch track centers. Most of the Walter stuff they build is 2-inch track centers. And I was concerned about passenger cars coming on a curve. I figured this is where to change it now. So it really made my plans to try and adjust it because I was getting mixed up with radius. Because if you have a 30-inch radius, 2.5-inch track center, you got to have the inner's got to be 27.5, or you got to be 28 and 32.5.
That's true.
Center. So for a while I was getting confused in the track. Like, so I realized that mistake, but I fixed that problem. Because I have nothing on my layout less than 28 inches in a radius.
Well, that's good.
I even have 32 in one area here, but nothing less than 28. But there's one little spot up the other end that is going to be 26. My last layout was 24 and 26, and I ran the turbo on that track with no issues, and I had it cranking.
Wow.
Yeah. So
surprised it ran on that, but
it did. Belonged to my neighbor. I borrowed it and tested it out for him, and he dropped it, and he wrecked one of the transmissions in the one locomotive.
Oh,
but
man.
You can't buy parts for it. My neighbor is a model railroad. He's 91 years old.
Wow.
He's got a lot of trains downstairs. He's got his hand laid track. He's been doing model rail for over 70 years. A lot of knowledge with him.
Yeah, it is.
So he's my neighbor. I always want to put a hole in the walls when you join the train rooms.
There you go.
But yeah. But that's the plan for the next couple of weeks. Rail fanning on Tuesday. Working that track area back there. Watch videos. And we'll go from there. And we'll see Jim 6 o'clock on Thursday.
Hopefully. You will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I gotta do a report on those Bambi printers. Or Bamboo.
Oh yeah.
Bamboo printer, Bambi. Can't remember.
Bambi Lab, I think they're called.
Bamboo or Bambi, I can't remember which now.
Yeah.
But, I watched a bunch of reviews, and because I don't have one here, so I couldn't do a hands-on.
Yeah.
But I don't want to give away the whole story, but it looks like a really nice printer. There's a couple of things I didn't like about it that not really a big deal. It's not a deal breaker, but which I said I'm not going to get into till Thursday. But
that's fine. Yeah, leave it Thursday.
It's a very, very good printer. The
only reason I was interested in it is as one because there is a YouTuber that lives up in the Ottawa territory. He's a woodworker, and he's been building. He built a bandsaw, I think a year or 2 years ago, out of wood. And he started creating replacement parts for this Bambi Lab printer. And he bought the enclosed version. But then there's another guy that I watch occasionally. He's in Europe. And I stopped watching for a while because he got out of doing the construction building things to working on his house. So I walked away from that for a while. Then he came back and he started making bins, storage for storage of hardware and stuff. When he created a modification to fit the Alex cabinets from IKEA. And you can buy all his file, because that's how he makes money on YouTube. For $20 American, you can buy 700 different files on his creation for these storage cabinets for your. I figure we can modify them for trains. Put a train in the bucket, take the tray out. They have little lips, that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
That's the one. And he was using the open frame printer versus the enclosed frame printer. I don't know the difference. All I know is that the enclosed frame, the head moves, the open frame, the table moves. The build platform. So it's interesting.
Most of them both move. The table moves on the print head. I know mine do. And mine are open printers. They're just not in an enclosure.
We'll wait till Thursday and you can review it. It's $630 Canadian to buy it.
Yeah, it's a little cheaper in the States. It's for something.
Well, because of the dollar factor, we have no control over that.
I know.
We take an American dollar times 1.35. So if American dollar is $1, it's going to cost us $1.35.
Yeah.
That is the way of life.
Well, we all know our money's not worth anything anyway.
They didn't give me the.
I remember when it was the other way around, that the dollar was worth more than the Canadian dollar.
Yeah.
So that was a long time ago.
Well, people used to go down in the States and buy a lot of things because our dollar had a good value to it, not anymore.
I say it, everything changed, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of, in the model railroading world, there's a lot of stuff that in scenery and extras that we don't see in Canada. But a lot of places in the States don't ship to Canada because it's a perfect example, that package that he sent. Look how much trouble that got to get it to me.
I know.
And we eventually, Keith went to the U.S. Postal Office, did all the necessary paperwork, mailed it out, got to the border. I don't like the description, sent it back to him.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. And we sent it to Dave Thurber. Dave Thurber took it to someplace in Ohio, and Mikey picked it up. Now I have it here. It's all fixed and ready to run. So that's good. Oh, well. That's the way it is.
Well, the good news is once you do get a printer, whenever you're ready to get one, I got a ton of files. I'll be more than happy to give you things.
But I'm gonna wait till I'm not gonna bother this year, but I'm gonna look into it next year. Right now, my friend Phil is doing a lot of printing for me, just a lot of designing for me too, and he's really good. And I want to keep him happy for now. I'll get it done. But that's just, to me, it'd be a toy. I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens next year. But right now, it won't be till at least till the spring of 2025.
And they may even get a little cheaper by then too. You never know.
Well, 2011. That's when I should have went shopping. I didn't have trains back then.
But, the possibilities are endless for model railroading.
Yeah,
with a 3D printer.
There's a lot of stuff available.
I mean, there's stuff I have on my layout that you can't buy anywhere. They just don't exist.
No, it's printing the world, and I got some 3D printed containers, for example. That I think they want $45 for 2 containers.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
that's nuts.
Now I think Grandpa Rails I heard he has the Bambi Lance printer.
I mean, I print those things for about a nickel a piece.
I know.
You know, and I'd sell them for $1. I mean, it's still cheap because down here they're about $12 to $14 if you buy one from a manufacturer. So, like I said, I'm not looking to get rich, and I'll just.
No, I know.
I'm making the water tower you were asking me about last time.
Grandpa Rail has one.
Does he?
The Bambi Labs, he has the A1. So, okay, yeah. Grandpa Rails. Jim's going to do a discussion on Thursday for the Bambi Lab. So you have experience, so you've got a lot of questions answered.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, the new one, the one that you gave me the link for is the Lab A1 Mini.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's the newest one they have, and it's the one with the 4 reels on it, multicolor. I mean, it's nice. That's something mine don't do. You can only do one color at a time.
Yeah. But this, there's a guy I watch in Europe. He does these three. And he had the Bambi Lab A1, and he also had the Bambi Lab A1 Mini. And he developed the files that you can print on the Mini, so you can buy the Mini, and it does the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's the nice thing about it. It does the 3 major formats. So
yeah. I usually ask for a locomotive for Christmas. Forget about the printer.
Yeah.
I want a train, not the. I have a fellow like I pay him like $7,500, and he can print all kinds of stuff for me, and I'm happy for that right now.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You can print almost.
That's
anything.
right. The bigger bill. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And you can buy the accessory to add for filament and that stuff there. But we'll leave that discussion for Thursday, 6:00 on Jim's channel.
We'll dive right into it.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil
a lot of questions.
We'll leave that for Thursday. Save all your questions for that then. But so, well, I don't know about you, but I always probably I go spend time with her, and I want to thank Jim for joining us on the first. This is the first official Monday with MIA Mike. He's not here.
It's a bummer.
He's not here.
Good for me, though. I'm happy you invited me in.
He's talking about going live if he gets a day off, which could be 10 days.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so we don't know yet. Yeah, Todd, I asked him a few weeks back to come on, so we're in.
Yeah, this is, I think, like the third guest host I've done since.
We might find having people to talk and watch the chat, and we don't get behind the chat. Well, we like the conversation going, and people will get fire questions at us.
That's true.
Okay, Ronald, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next Monday. I'll be looking for another guest on that Monday. You never know who we're going to. I know I was talking to the guy who owns Scale Signs in the U.S. He's a retired 1-star general. He might come on board one. I got to send him an email so he wants to do that. That's a really interesting product too. Scale Signs in the States. But, well, Jim, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
All our viewers tonight to enjoy Jim. And remember to check out Jim Thursday, 6:00.
Yep.
Check him out.
Discussion Thursday.
Printer.
The more the merrier.
That's right. Non-stop chat. At least till 8:00 anyhow. And then we'll have, I'm not sure who is live on Thursday for Third Real Thursday. It was Tim and I think it's either Mark or Chris this Thursday coming out. One of those two. Probably Chris. Yeah. So this Thursday, Third Wheel Thursday. Okay, sirs. I'm going to end the stream. You everybody have a good night, and we'll catch you on the next.
Good night, everyone.